Yeah.
Oh, is it central area?
Yeah. Yeah. This points to, I think, that thing. I don't know what that is, but I think it's that.
That's what you know you made it. You got central there.
Right.
What happened to me when someone was thinking
Mhm.
all of a sudden I
Yeah.
was die and all of a sudden
Oh man.
it was
Oh,
terrible.
in this building.
Nah,
That
at
you're in.
home.
Oh yeah. Oh man. All right, so let's do some questions. Anybody got any questions?
Yeah. So this is second of five articles.
All right, go ahead.
It's gonna be.
Oh, wait, hold on. This always happens. All right, open parenthesis.
-7.
7.
Square root 3.
Mm-hmm.
Or square root 5.
All right, so just multiplying them, right? So all you got to do, numbers with numbers, radicals with radicals, right? So what's -7 times 4?
It is
Mhm.
28.
Good. And then what's square root 3 times square root 5?
8.
No, square root 3 times square root 5. No, times. Square root 3 times square root 5. Right. Yeah, so square root 15. And that's it. That's the answer. Yeah. Mhm.
What's the name, me?
Mhm. I just multiply it. That's all. Mhm. That's what we did yesterday. Yeah. So, whatever. So look, you got square root of 20 over 7, right? Remember that you could write the square root individually over each of them, just like that, right? But before we even get too deep in this, right? Simplify square root of 20. What's that become? 5 times 4, right? Yeah, so this is 4 times 5 over square root of 7. And the square root of 4 is 2, right? So this is 2 square root 5 over square root 7. Now, to rationalize the denominator, you just multiply by the same denominator. So if you have square root 7 on the bottom, you're going to multiply by square root 7. And what you do to the bottom, do to the top. And then just multiply straight across, right? So the top is what? 2 square root what? So square root 5 times square root 7 is square root 35, right? Over square root 7 times square root 7 is what? This is square root 49. And the square root of 49 is what? 7, right? So it's 2 square root 35 over 7. And that's it.
Yeah, but that's what's gonna be.
Yeah, so just put in the numbers from here. So like they're asking for like A square root B over C, right? So just match it, right? Like that's A, you know, like match the position with it. So 2 would be like the A, right? The B would be like 35. And then the C is just the number on the bottom, so that's just 7. So just like that. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. I thought, wait, let me get him. What was your question? Hmm? Hmm? Over 3B? Like that? Okay. Like that? Okay. Say it again. Negative N? Oh, -1 power. Like that. Gotcha. All right. So for this one, right? Remember that whenever it's a negative exponent, drops to the denominator, right? So this is gonna become 1 over, open parentheses, 5a to the 4th power divided by 3b to the 1 over 4 power. Just like that. And then you remember keep, change, flip, right? So I'm going to keep the numerator, right? Numerator is 1 over 1, right? I'm just do it right underneath, right? Numerator is 1 over 1. Change the division to multiplication. Flip the denominator. So 3b to the 1 over 4 power divided by 5a to the 4 power. And just multiply straight across. What do we have? We have 3b to the 1 over 4 power over 5a to the 4 power. That's it. Let me just type it in. What's your question? Yeah. So technically, what's your question?
So this one have like.
4?
But it's gonna be square root 3
Okay.
over plus
Uh-huh.
square root 13 plus square root 5.
That's
I
it?
got the answer to that.
Yeah, just distribute it and then that's it. That's the answer.
Give me 39.
39 plus, yeah, that's it. That's the answer.
As a. B, C.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like what, tell me what A, B, C, and D looks like in the example.
So.
Oh, I got you. So look, this is A, B, C, D, right? So what would A be? What do you think? Mind you, I'm like plugging them in down here up top. This is another question.
Right.
Huh?
So it would be square root 3?
No. So what you do is look from right here. A is the number that's in front of the radical. So what number is that? 1. All right. What's B? 39. What's C? 1. And what's D? That's it. Yeah. It's not going in? Let me see. Oh, they got negative powers on my fault. I didn't do the negative parts on the side. My fault. You know what? Low key for this one. I'll just erase this. My fault. I overlooked the negatives on the inside. For this one, I would put the negative power on each of them individually, and then I'll solve it, right? So this, I would make 5a to the negative 4 raised to the negative 1 power over 3b to negative 1 over 4 raised to the negative 1 power, like that, right? So when I raise that to the power just like that, you know that the 5 is gonna go down to the denominator, so 1 over 5. And then whenever you raise a power to a power, you multiply. So negative 4 times negative 1, positive 4. So this would be like a to the positive 4 power. In the denominator now, right? For the 3, you already know that's going to be 1 over 3. And then for the b, right? We're going to have negative 1 over 4 raised to negative 1 power. You raise the power to a power, you multiply. So this would just be b to the positive 1 over 4 power, right? Now, let's simplify this a little bit, right? So the top, I'm just gonna rewrite this before I simplify it. This is gonna be a to the 4 power over 5 divided by, I'm just gonna write b to the 1 over 4 power divided by 3. Just like that, right? And then now you can clearly see, right? Keep change flip. So I'm gonna keep the numerator, a to the 4 over 5, right? Switch to multiplication, right? Flip the denominator, 3 over b to the 1 over 4. Multiply straight across, what do I have? 3, a to the 4 over 5, b to the 1 over 4, right? But remember, it's illegal for me to have fraction powers in the denominator, right? So I gotta get rid of that, right? So, hey. So to get rid of the b to the 1 over 4, I'm gonna multiply that by, wait, hold on. Multiply that by b to the 3 over 4. Wait, let me think. Hold on 1 second. Maybe. Hold on. No, this is it. Yeah, b 3 over 4. And then what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. Right? So it doesn't feel right, but I believe it's right. When I'm multiplying them, I add them, right? Yeah, that's right. That's right. So now we're gonna multiply them straight across, right? So when I multiply them straight across, what do I get? I get 3 a to the 4, b to the 3 over 4 power over, right? This is gonna be just the 5 right there. That doesn't change. B to the 1 over 4 times b to the 3 over 4. Remember, we add the powers whenever we're multiplying them. So this should become b to the 4 over 4 or just b to the 1. And then that would be the answer. Huh? B to the 1. Yeah, because 4 over 4 would be 1. So yeah. So like that. That would be the answer for it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a good test, all right?
Hell. That's mad steps. Yeah, that's strictly a homework question. Yeah. This thing is what do we call this now? I don't want to say simplifying yeah, simplifying radical expressions, yeah. Yeah. How is it? Still not working? Let me see. So when they say n, right? They want that number that's in front. So the number that's in front is 3 over 5. Right? So that's just 3/5. And then the exponent on R, so the exponent on A is just 4. Right? Boom. And then the exponent on B, I think I'm gonna say 1 over 4 for that. The bottom one. Try that. Yeah, that worked. So, yeah. So real quick, let's say that this was like a test or whatever, right? The answer that I want is the one in that box, right? But for your homework, you could simply just use this answer right here, and it'll give you everything, right? The n is just the number that's in front, the 3 over 5. And then the rest of it is just what's the power on A, what's the power on B. So you just tell them and then that's it. Yeah. For web work. Yeah, for web work, that's the answer. Yeah. The question is this one right here. That's a, yeah. Mhm. Keep going. Oh, no, it has the fraction power. Remember, the fraction power is the radical. Like if you have an exponent that's a fraction, that is a radical. Yeah. Yeah. No, it could be a fraction. So like, for example, b to the 1/4, right? That's the fourth root. Right. Yeah. Yeah. For that particular question they're asking for the power on a, so it's just 4. Yeah, yeah. Give me 1 second real quick. All right, go ahead. Like that? Okay. I don't even know. Never gonna lie to you. So when I see something like that, automatically just go straight to the tree, right? Chop it in half, right? This is 2 times what? That's what that is? Is it? I don't even know. What's that, like 50 plus 96? Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. And then just cut that in 2 again, right? So you said 32? Half of 96 is 32? 48? Okay, that sounds better. Yeah. And then, yeah, cut that again, 24. This is 12. This is 2 and 6. And then that's 3 and 2. Yikes. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twos. Whoops, I wrote that wrong. So I got 6 twos and I got a 3. Yikes. So what is a cube root of 2 to the 6th power? It's 2 to what power? Not subtract. Not add. No. Go ahead. So look, you remember that if I have, like, let's say the nth root of like a to the b power, for example, right? That's gonna be what? A raised to the b over n power. Remember that rule? Right? So using that same idea, right? This becomes what? 2 raised to the 6 over 3 power, right? And then we still have the cube root of 3 right here. So 6 divided by 3 is 2, right? So this is just 2 times 2 to the 2nd cube root of 3. And then 2 to the 2nd is 4, and 4 times 2, what's that, 8? So 8 cube root of 3, and that's the answer.
That hard? That seems like hard.
It's hard for me because I don't know my timetables, but you smarter than me, so. Yeah. So,
The same.
oh. Wait, hold on, let me make it smaller. Is it the same kind of question? You're gonna distribute it?
Yeah. is the one.
Both answers didn't work in the, yeah. I'll take a look. All right, go ahead, let me see.
One,
4,
square root of two,
uh-huh, mm-hmm,
3, square root of 12,
mm-hmm,
and 6, square root of 6.
okay.
So,
I don't know, this distributing is the right way. That's it, yeah.
Give me 36, 36.
Is it? Wait. Yo, help me out. What's 4 times 3 again? 12. All right. So 12 square root what?
24,
Good. Plus. What's 4 times 6 again?
24.
24. Square root what? Good. That's it. Then just simplify the square roots. Yeah. Which one? Which 24? So what's the largest perfect square that goes into 24? 9, no. The perfect square. 4, right? So this becomes 12 square root 4 times what number? No. 6, right? Plus 24. And then help me break down the 12. Like, what's the largest perfect square that goes into that? That's 6. 4, right? 4 times what? 3, right? And then that's it. What's the square root of 4 again? 2, right? So it's 12 times 2 square root 6 plus 24 times 2 square root 3. And then just do the math on that. I think that's like 24 square root 6 plus 48 square root 3. Then that's your answer. Then A, B, C, D, that term. Yeah. That's it. So just distribute, come on. So multiply by the conjugate, right? What's the conjugate of that? Conjugate is mean opposite. Mhm. We could do it. Just 1 second. Yeah. So use the example that they have for R, S, and N, you just plug it in and that's it. 1 second. Yeah. Like once you understand this, Math 30 is nothing.
That's what he's done.
Yeah.
Pretty good calculus.
Yeah. Calculus is even easier than this.
I see it.
Yeah.
Questions like this long.
I mean, it's long, but you know what you're writing. It's mad like.
1 plus 1.
Yeah. Mhm. Oh yeah, hold on. Go ahead. 8. What? 3? Uh-huh. 2. So to answer this, right, you multiply by the conjugate, right? So the conjugate of this, right, is literally the same thing in the denominator, but instead of a minus, you put a plus, right? So it becomes 5 plus 3 square root 2. What you do to the bottom, you do to top. 5 plus 3 square root 2, just like that. And just multiply straight across, and that's it, right? So for the top, you know, you're gonna do a little distribution over here, right? So what's that? 25, 30, 35, what's that? 40 plus, what's 8 times 3 again? 24 square root 2 over, and just distribute on the bottom. 5 times 5, what's that? 25 plus 15 square root 2 minus 15 square root 2. And then negative 3 square root 2 times positive 3 square root 2 is what? 15? Oh, 5 times 3 square root 2. Yeah, distribute. Yeah. So I'm on the last one now. I want to know what negative 3 square root 2 times 3 square root 2 is. So negative times a positive is a negative. Negative 9, what? Square root 4. Perfect, right? And then we just want to combine like terms, right? These cancel out. This is going to become 40 plus 24 square root 2 over 25 minus 9 times what? 2? Something like that. Then we're going to multiply that. So we have 40 plus 24 square root 2 over 25 minus what? 18? What's 25 minus 18? 5, 6, what's it, 7 or something? Yeah. And that's it. Here's your answer. And then you just like ARST, whatever they got, whatever number they got. Yeah. Awesome. Uh-huh. To the third power? Wait. X to the fifth power? Like this? Okay. Like times? Like y to the, like this? So y to the, okay. That's it. All right, it's a, oh, say it again. 5, like under the cube? Oh, like a fifth root like this? Got you. That's it. Yikes. Okay. Huh? Yeah, a little bit. Little bit. So what I would do, I'll put the root on top of everybody, right? So I would make this first part here x to the 5 over 2 and y to the 4 over 2. Then I would make this next part here x to the 3 over 3, y to the 4 over 3. Right? And all these are being multiplied, by the way. And then last, I would just do x to the 3 over 5. Now remember, whenever I multiply exponents, I add them, right? So for me, this would simply be x to the 5 over 2 plus 3 over 3 plus 3 over 5, right? Times y to the 4 over 2 plus 4 over 3, right? Then just add them all up. That's it. LCD, a little bit of that. So let me see, we got 15, 30, right? So this would be times 3 times 5. Pretty much.
Same on test, right?
This might be. Yeah. This is the original question right here. So this would be x to the, what is that? 15 times 5. That's 30, 60, 75, right? Plus 2 and 5. So 3 times 2 times 5 is 60. And then this last one is 2 times 3. So that's like 6 times 3, what's that, 18? Over, yeah. Yeah, so 2 times 3 times 5. So that's like, yeah, it's 30. Would be the same denominator. Where did I get the 2 times 3?
Yeah.
So the LCD for me is 2 times 3 times 5, right? Right, which is 30. But I'm being lazy. 2 times 3 times 5. The first one has 2, it's missing the 3 times 5. So 3 times 5 times 3 times 5. The middle one is missing the 3, so this is like 2 times 5. And then 2 times 5. Last one has a 5, is missing the 2 times 3. That's just the way I'm thinking about it. You know, so I messed up the middle, didn't I? It's supposed to be 30. Wait, is it? Wait. 5 times 5, 25, 30. Yeah, yeah. So that should be 30. Yeah. And then 6, no, 9 and 2 is 18. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right. Over 30. And then we have y. Multiply this by 3, I do to the bottom, do to the top. Multiply this by 2, I do to the bottom, do to the top. What's that? 12 plus 8 over 6, something like that. Then you just add these up together. What's this? 105 plus 10, 115 plus 8. Yeah. I think this is like what, 173? No, 123? 75 plus 30 plus 18. What's that? 105 plus 18 is what? 23? Okay, so 123 over 30. And y is 20 over 6. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, you could reduce it a little bit. Like, I don't think we can reduce the first one, but the 20 over 6,
5,
yeah,
3, or no, 5 and 2.
I would take 2 out, right? Call this 10, call this 3, 10 over 3. Good question, though. And if you want to see it, though, like this is,
We're gonna have these two problems on it, the variable, or is this really good question?
rewrite the expression without the variable. Like in a root? Okay. What about it? What's the question? Wait, hold on. Like the fifth root, like that?
No, it's gonna be 5.
Like that?
No, this
Like that? Okay.
3. Parentheses. 1.
Yeah, so you already know, just distribute. Yeah.
Give me
20 cube root of 27.
7.
Yeah, because 3 times 9 plus what's that? 20 cube root of 21. Right? And then cube root of 27 is what? 3 what? 3 square root 3. Right? Because hold up. Actually, no, it was just 3. My mistake. Right? Because 3 times 3 is 9 times 3, 27, right? Yeah. Okay, so 20 times 3 plus 20 cube root of 21 is 60 plus 20 cube root of 21. Yeah. No, 21 is just 7 times 3, so
Yeah.
can't do nothing with that.
I got 8 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Here, no. Because of the radical that's next to it. It's different. Yeah. So just A, B, C, D, that thing. It's the homework. Yeah. It's just the way the homework is asking you. All right. What is it? The conjugate one?
Yes,
Just multiply by it. Yeah, just multiply by the opposite over there. Hmm? If anything, we'll do that after. All right, let's jump into the lesson real quick. I see time is running on us. It's gonna be a thunderstorm? Yo, we need that though, man. It's mad hot. Yeah. Nah, keep it 100 though. It got so hot. I was really asking like, what happened to Beryl? You know that hurricane that was in the Caribbean that came up. I'm like, ain't that supposed to come visit us though? Right after. Yeah. It's like it went to Canada and just like forgot about us. Like, damn, man. Just gonna cross the border. Yeah, like how you come to America and not visit New York? Like, what is that? Like, oh man. All right, real quick though, help me out with this. How I do this again? Forgot. What do I do here? I just want to solve for x. Add 5 on both sides. Very good. So I have 2x is equal to 5 now. What do I do after that? Exactly. Divide by 2 both sides. Right? So we have x is equal to 5 over 2. Very good. All right. I have another question. All right, how do I do this again? So y minus 3 times y minus 3. Okay, and what do I do with that? FOIL it, right? So y times y squared, y times -3, -3y, -3 times y, -3y, -3 times -3 is what? +9, right? Combine like terms right after. Why is my mouse not working? So I have y squared minus 6y plus 9, right? Not bad, not bad. All right, help me out with this one. Plus y? Where? In the middle? No, because of the negative. Yeah, and then you're adding them. Yeah, yeah. How about the reverse? How do I do this again? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. -3, okay. And n minus 2?
No, 5+2.
Oh, +2? So -3 times 2 is what? 4 and 2? I like that. What's the signs? Negative? Both negative? All right, -4, -2. Very good. Excellent. Well done. And what do I do after that? 2 plus? Okay, yeah. So n minus 4 equals 0 and n minus 2 equals 0. And then just solve for n, right? I'm gonna add 4 over here. N is equal to 4. I'm gonna add 2 over here. N is equal to 2, right? So remember how to do this, right? So that being said, here's what we're gonna do today. No shock, right? We're gonna solve radical equations, right? So in this section, we will solve equations that have a variable in the radicand of the radical expression. An equation of this type is called a radical equation, right? It's not that bad. It's actually like really, really easy. But we got to build the vocabulary a little bit. Just a smidget. All right, so radical equation. An equation in which a variable is in the radicand of a radical expression is called a radical equation. All right. Let's take a look at that. All right, so as usual, when solving these equations, what we do to one side of an equation, we must do to the other side as well. Once we isolate the radical, our strategy will be to raise both sides of the equation to the power of the index. This will eliminate the radical. So solving radical equations contains an even index by raising both sides to the power of the index. May introduce an algebraic solution that would not be a solution to the original radical equation. Again, we call this an extraneous solution, as we did when we solved rational equations, right? So in the next example, we will see how to solve a radical equation. Our strategy is based on raising a radical with the index n to the nth power. This will eliminate the radical. So for example, right? Don't worry about that. So for example, right? If a is greater than or equal to 0, the nth root of a raised to the nth power cancels out and is just a. The answer is just the radicand. That's simple, right? But we know this already, right? Because we already simplified these. All right, so solve for the variable, but remember to check the answer. So check this out. This is what I'm talking about. So let's say that I wanted to solve the square root of 5n minus 4 minus 9 is equal to 0, right? What I want to do is I want to first isolate the radical. I want the radical by itself. Isolate the radical. So how do I do that? What's some ideas? I'm gonna add what? Exactly, right? So I'm gonna get rid of this -9 by adding 9. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation, right? So now what do I have? I have square root 5n minus 4 is equal to 9. Now, to undo the square root, right? Remember also, when you don't see a number there, that there's an imaginary 2 right there, right? Right, for square root. To undo the square root, we're going to raise it to the power of the index. And our index in this case is 2, right? But look, we got to be fair, right? When we do the one side of the equation, we got to do the other side of the equation. I'm going to raise that to the 2 power as well. These 2's will cancel out, leaving back just 5n minus 4 equals, and then 9 to the second power is what? 81, right? And then after that, yeah. Whatever is there, that's what I raise it the power to. Yeah. After that, just solve for n. Nothing crazy. I'm gonna add 4 here, add 4 here. So I have 5n is equal to, what's this, 85? And then after that, this is the hard part. Got to divide by 5 on both sides. What do the one side do to the other? So then now n is equal to, I'm not going to lie, I don't know. What's 85 divided by 5? I don't even know what that is. What is it? 17? All right. Good at your timetables, man. And that's it. That's how we do this. Yeah. You just type in a calculator, 85 divided by 5, and then you're good to go. Yeah. So I actually had that thought to do that, but I was like 85 is kind of far from 60. So I'm like, I know I'm going to be counting for a minute. So I was like, exactly. And you cube the 9, yeah. And then you just solve for n. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. I got y'all pictures. Square root? Oh, no, it was given to me in the original. Oh, so you see how the square root, like, it doesn't, you don't see a number there, right? So that means that it's 2, right? It's a square root. So then like that, I'm gonna raise that to the same power of the index, you know? If it was a little 3 here, cube root, I would have raised the other side to the cube root, same thing. Or 4 or 5 or whatever. All right, you guys try.
Kind of like go back to the whole algebra thing.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
The whole lesson.
I mean, I still got to drop the rules to it. This is solving radical equations. Jay, did you solve your login issue? Yeah. Yeah, let's try after class. Yeah. Got you. No, like you can't see like when I give the updates with the YouTube videos and all that. Yeah.
He was subscribed to YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, but he missed like the scholarships and all of that and whatnot.
None of that.
What you mean? It was in the update.
Oh, that, yeah, good. That's like for everybody? Like
Yeah,
for,
everybody. That was like a free $2,000.
is it gone?
Nah, you can still apply for
Oh.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I gotta get my I gotta get my tap.
Gotcha.
Since we tapped it.
Yeah. There was even a work study job in there too. Yeah, yeah, it could be a fraction. Yeah. I be hooking y'all up, man. Nobody be going to pantry without telling y'all about it.
Imagine tomorrow is that
Next week. This one got some, so we got simplified. So the 8 is gonna be square root of 4 to square root of 2. So 2 times 5, yeah, and you gotta square root, I'm just gonna simplify it 18. It's gonna be square root 9 times square root of 2, so it's gonna be 3 times 5. So it's 18. So homework's been posted. All right, I think 15. Yeah. Yeah, this thing. Yeah, guys, we have like 2 more weekends before the finals, so time to catch up on homework, all right?
Yeah, before the third test or.
Yeah. Next week, Thursday, third test. Right? It's gonna be good. We're gonna do a little it's gonna be radicals. We're gonna do trigonometry on it. That's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire.
That's gonna get fun.
Yeah.
That's shit goes, man.
I was thinking about doing something for y'all. I'll talk about it like next week.
Everybody just live watch.
I mean, it'll be easy though. Like you're gonna see, like the week after, we just gonna be preparing for final, and it's not that bad.
I was gonna be even more. So it's just.
Nah. Like next week, it'll probably be like the last of our learning, and that's it. So I don't know why I just wrote that. So we want to solve for this, right? So the first thing I want to do, I want to add 5 over here. So I want to isolate my variable, right? I mean, isolate my radical, excuse me, right? So now what do I have? I have square root 3m plus 2 is equal to 5. Oh no, before I can do that, right? I have to get rid of the radical. So how do I get rid of the radical? And then raise it to what power? 2, right? Anytime you don't see a number there, remember that it's like an invisible 2. What you do to one side, you gotta do to the other. These will cancel out. Now I have 3m plus 2 is equal to, what's this, 25, right? And then just solve for m. That's it, nothing crazy. Subtract 2, subtract 2. What's that, 3m is equal to, what's this, 23? Right? Divide by 3. And that's it, right? So m equals 23 over 3. Hmm? You got an issue?
Picture.
Oh, picture. Oh, yeah. I misheard you. There you go. That's all of it. All right, bet. How do I know that? Because I want to raise it to a power, right? Like always, I want to raise it to whatever power the index is. But if the index has no number, then I know it's 2. You know? An index will never be one. Like if there's no number, it's just two. But if it's like cube the fourth root or something like that, it'll have the number there in the index. All right. All right, so I just want to give y'all some notes real quick. All right. So this is how to solve a radical equation with one radical, right? Step one, isolate the radical on one side of the equation. Step two, raise both sides of the equation to the power of the index. Step three, solve the new equation. Step four, check your answer in the original equation. Whoops, we should have done that, right? We should have plugged this in. All right. Well, we know it's gonna work, so whatever. But we'll do that going forward, right? Remember to check your answers. You should. But no.
Yeah, probably.
So when we use a radical sign, it indicates the principal or positive root. If an equation has a radical with an even index equal to a negative number, that equation will have no solution, right? Let's check this out. Y'all have the steps, so what do I do? Oh man. All right, so let's do that. I'm gonna subtract one from both sides. I do the one side do together. So what do I have? I have square root 9k minus 2 is equal to -1, right? What's next? We gotta square both sides, right? We do the one side do to the other. So what do I have? 9k minus 2 equals +1. Good. And what do I do after that? Exactly. +2. What do I do to one side do to the other? All right. This is gonna be what? 9k is equal to what's 1 + 2 again? 3. Okay. Divide by 9. All right. What I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. All right. So what's that equal to? K equals 1/3, right? But as we said earlier, we should really be checking our answers, right? So let's check this answer.
That'd be wrong.
Hmm?
If you did every step right.
I mean, yeah, it would be wrong if it was a wrong answer. So let's see, right? I'm just gonna check over here. So I have the square root of 9k minus 2 plus 1 is equal to 0, right? So I'm just gonna plug this in. So the square root of 9 times 1/3 minus 2 plus 1 allegedly is equal to 0, right? Let's do the math on that, right? So what's this become? 9/1 times 1/3 minus 2 plus 1 allegedly is 0. So when I multiply these, what do I get? What's that, like 9/3 minus 2? 2/1? No. So 9 divided by 3 is just what? What's 9 divided by 3? It's like 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is gonna be what? Square root of 3 minus 2, right? Whoops. Plus 1. It's allegedly 0. Let me see. And then square root of 1 plus 1. In some countries, that's 0, right? But 1 plus 1, I don't know. But to me, 2 does not equal 0. This is not an answer. So there's no solution here.
Wait, are you recording?
Yep.
Oh, does it say
I X'd out earlier.
that? Oh.
Yeah.
Like this whole.
Yeah.
Remember?
So there's no solution to this answer. this question. The lesson here though, right? If you wanted to avoid all of that, anytime you see a question similar to this, right? And as soon as you subtract the one or whatever, and you see that you get this, square root 9k minus 2 is equal to -1, you know that two numbers multiplied together can never give, especially if they're the same, right? Can never give you a negative number, right? One, right? You know that there's gonna be no solution. Any negative, any negative, yeah. If you have an even power root and it's equal to a negative number, you already know that ain't gonna work.
Does that mean our answer was wrong?
Yeah, there's no solution. That's the right answer. No solution.
That's pretty-
Yeah.
The answer is better, even if you did everything right.
Mhm. Or you just remember the rule. Your choice.
Negative.
Mhm.
You just write no solution, that'd be.
And that's the answer. For example, somebody tell me what's the answer.
Oh, be no solution.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's it. Mhm. All right. That being said. What's up? So if one side of an equation with a square root is a binomial, we use the product of binomial squares pattern when we square it, right? Oh, we remember what that is, right? Remember what that is, right? No? Nobody? All right, look, here it is. This is the binomial squares pattern.
You remember that?
Yeah,
By heart?
yeah. A plus b squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, and a minus b squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Yeah,
There's no way you remember that. You say you know what we're talking.
yeah. I don't.
You remember that?
But I mean, you don't have to remember. I mean, you could do it yourself if you want, you know? So like here go your next problem right here. Huh? The what? This one? Do it. What's the answer? Right. That's it.
Negative.
It could be a fraction, but the thing is that like it won't work. So think of it like this: like there's no number that I could take the square root of and get a negative number out. Like that don't make sense, you know? Yeah. Right. It's not gonna work. Yeah. I can solve for it. It's just not gonna give me a answer. Yeah, you good. That's it. Yeah.
So you don't even need to check for it, you just see what's this negative.
Right. So it's your choice. You know? It's okay. How about this one? What am I gonna do first?
Correct one.
Exactly, right? Because I want to isolate, right? My radical. So what do I have here? I have square root p minus 1 is equal to p minus 1. What do I do after that?
Where is this?
Exactly, right? I'm going to square both sides, get rid of the radical. What I do to one side, do to the other. So now what do I have? I have p minus 1 is equal to, yeah, what's p minus 1 squared? Mm-mm. P squared. Hmm? So minus 2p plus 1, right? Yeah. If it looks confusing, just FOIL it.
Oh, you just distribute it.
Yeah. After all of that, what you're gonna do, solve for P. Light work, right? So I'm gonna subtract P from over here. What I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. I'm also gonna add 1 over here. What I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. So now what do I have? 0 is equal to P squared minus 3P plus 2. Light work, right? So now I'm gonna factor this. So I know this is gonna be a P and a P here, equals 0, right? Now I need two numbers that multiply to give me a positive 2, but when I add them together, it'll give me a negative 3. What are they? -2, -1, right? And then after that, you already know, set them equal to 0. So I have P minus 2 is equal to 0. P minus 1 is equal to 0. Just solve for P. I'm gonna add 2 over here. What I do to one side, do to the other. So I have P is equal to 2. And I'm gonna add 1 over here. What I do to one side, do to the other. So I have P is equal to 1. That's not bad, right? You know I gotta check it. Yeah, we can't just trust it like that. Mess us up. So I have square roots. This is a check, by the way. I have square root of, what's one of my answers again? I forgot. +2. All right, let's check that out. So this is gonna be 2. Oops. I'll put that in parentheses. -1 plus 1 allegedly is 2. I don't know if it's true or not, but let's see, right? So 2 minus 1, what's that again? Forgot. That's 1, right? So square root of 1 plus 1 allegedly is equal to 2. I don't know if that's true or not. 1 plus 1, some people tell me that that's 2, but that's 2. But in fact, 2 does equal 2, so we good to go, right? It's a legit answer. Let me try out the 1. All right, just to be sure, right? This is gonna be square root of 1 minus 1 plus 1, allegedly. That's equal to 1. I don't know if it is or not. 1 minus 1 is what again? Forget, there's 0, right? So 1 allegedly is equal to 1. No, yeah, 1 is equal to 1, right? Yeah, so I'm good. Yeah. Bet. And that's it. All right? So 2 and 1. That's our answer for this. And you already know if this was web work, it'd be like 2, 1, you enter, that's it. Yeah. And that's that. Let me let you guys try one. Huh? Oh, got you. I'm gonna give y'all a little easy one though with X's. And crazy.
Yeah, I think your brain just like, once you see a different letter, it's like a little different.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But it's the same thing.
Sometimes I just rewrite the variables X.
Yeah. That's legal. You could do that if you want. I'm not gonna lie, like on like some of your tests and stuff, I do that. Because y'all know I just copy out questions, right? So like, I just change the variable to X. I'm surprised none of y'all like low-key did the test before y'all came to take the test. Because you know I just copy your questions from the homework, right?
I just see
Like, y'all could just like,
the test back.
yeah. From the textbook.
The textbook is different.
Yeah.
I don't know how to read that.
You don't have to, just scroll down and look at the questions. Just picking like the easiest one there. That's it.
Oh wait, it's the
It's
exact
not on the
captain.
review, so
They in the review.
it is.
I was about to steal one from the review. I'm not gonna lie. I was really gonna do that.
That's why we like want to day off.
So you good?
Review,
Yeah. I'll be trying to pick the easiest things, like.
Taking the homework is ridiculous sometimes, like some of the questions be,
You what? Is it?
like
I thought it was easy.
you took a little bit out of the first.
This is the same thing that we be doing here.
Some of them be different.
It's the
Some be
same
like,
thing.
This formula, I don't know.
Oh man. Gotta rewatch the video. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie though, like real talk. I know it's like hard to study and all that. If all you guys did was just do the homework, y'all would pass everything, be late. Hmm? Homework is 34%. Yeah. And then your test is 33% overall. And then your final is 33%. Yeah. Mhm. 34. Oh, wait, no, the homework is 34. 34, the homework. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
passing?
Passing, like
70.
70.
70 is a D.
70 is like a C. So actually, I think that's C minus. Gotta check. I think that's C minus. Y'all should just aim for 100. There's nothing.
How many tests would you have to pass, like with the
Mhm.
homework? So you get 50 of them.
That's pretty good. That's passing.
Pass one test.
Y'all have mad opportunities to pass though. Like if y'all go to tutoring, right? Redo your test, give it back to me, I give you back half the points you miss.
You're like,
There's yeah, for every test, there's three tests, right? I'm dropping the lowest test. Like y'all have mad opportunities to pass. Huh?
Oh, he ain't good there
Yeah.
yet.
I'm just saying, like, you could legit get a 50 on every test, right? I'm gonna give you back half the points. That's a 75. Yo, 50 is not bad though. 50 is only like halfway there. All right. Yeah. All right, so let's look at this. So I have square root x minus 2 plus 2 is equal to x. What do I do? Subtract 2. I do the one side, do to the other. So I have square root of x minus 2 is equal to x minus 2. What do I do after that? So I'm going to square this. What I do to one side, do to the other. So what do I have? X minus 2 equals, what's this? X squared minus 4x plus 4, something like that. All right.
I'm confused on that part.
Mhm.
Are you boiling it or are you just raising it to the second?
I'm foiling it.
Okay, so x times x squared. Well, why do you keep the x minus 2?
No, that x minus 2 is this one. And then this is this one.
So what do you foil it?
So x minus 2 squared is x minus 2 times
you're
x
just doing
minus
it, not
2.
writing the first
Yeah.
piece. Okay,
I'm just doing it in my head.
okay.
Actually, no, let me stop lying. I'm not doing it in my head. I'm just copying this formula right here. That's all I'm doing. Right?
I can't understand.
Why?
That's so
If this was x minus 2 squared, you already know what this is going to be, right? That's x squared minus 2 times what? X times what? 2 plus negative 2 squared. Light work.
You should know your content.
X squared minus 4. Nah, there's no point. What's that? Plus 4? That's it. Same thing. I'm just doing it in my head, copying that formula. See? That's the secret.
I'm not gonna work.
It's all good. I don't know what happened. So solve for x. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to add 2 over here. What I do to one side, you know I got to do to the other. I'm going to subtract x from over here. What I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So now what do I have? 0 is equal to x squared minus 5x plus 6. All right? After that, you already know, just factor. This is going to be 0 is equal to, help me out. What's this going to be? This is x and x. I took it away from the negative 4x. Yeah. What did you do to one side, you do to the other? No, they're not the same. Yeah. So then now we have x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x minus 2 is equal to 0. And just solve for x. Kind of crazy. I'm going to add 3 over here. I'll do to one side, do to the other. And I'm going to add 2 over here. I'll do to one side, do to the other. So what do I have? X is equal to 2. That's it. All right. Check your answer, and you're good to go. All right. Let's do a little check. So for the check, right, I got the square root of, let's say 3 minus 2 plus 2 allegedly is equal to 3. Let's see. 3 minus 2, what's that? That's like 1, right? Plus 2, allegedly that's 3. I'm not sure. 1 plus 2, I feel like that could be 3. Might be wrong. And 3 is equal to 3. So we good to go. So let's try out 2, right? So it's going to be what? 2 minus 2. Things are acting up. Plus 2, allegedly, that's equal to 2. I'm not sure, but let's see. This is going to be what? 0? So yeah, 2 is equal to 2. And that's it. These are good answers. All right. Questions on it? Hmm? Yeah. To the check or to the regular one? Yeah. For the 4? This 4 right here?
Yeah.
So imagine x minus 2 times x minus 2.
Right.
So it's like negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4. Yeah. Yeah. So the first one, right? These are canceling out, the square and the radical. And that's how I get the x minus 2 here. But in the second one, right? The second one,
X minus 2 times X minus 2.
right, is that. And then that's how I get this. And that's it. You solve for x after that. Foil, yeah.
This feels a little bit easier than the last 3 things we did.
Right?
The add and subtract and subtract.
Mm-hmm.
The division was, none of the division was pretty.
Division wasn't bad. Just copy the denominator and that's it. You can't go wrong with that. Just copy and paste. So sometimes the solution of a radical equation results in 2 algebraic solutions, but one of them may be an extraneous solution. Blah, blah, blah. Check your answers. That's what it means. All right. That's all it means. Low key, you could finish your homework if you want. So I have the square root of r plus 4 minus r plus 2 is equal to 0. What am I going to do? Subtract 2, very good. What I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So now I have what? Square root r plus 4 minus r is equal to negative 2. What do I do after that? Before that, add r on both sides, right? Because remember, I have to isolate my radical. So what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So now what do I have? So now I have square root of r plus 4 is equal to r minus 2. Now, what do I do? Square both sides, right? What I do to one side, do to the other. So what do I have? I have r plus 4, because remember the square root and the square is going to cancel out, is equal to what? What's this? Minus 4r plus 4, right? And then after that, yeah, so look, r minus 2 times r minus 2, that's how. And then when you distribute it, boom, 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 like that. Right, r times r squared, r times -2, it's gonna be -2r, -2 times r, -2r, add them together, that's -4r. And then -2 times -2 is +4. That's how. All right. You can foil it on the test. You got time. It's nothing. All right. After this, I want to solve for r, right? So I'm going to subtract 4 from over here, but what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. I'm going to minus r from over here, and what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So what do I have? 0 is equal to minus, exactly, right? So what do I do when I have r squared minus 5r? We could factor it, right? Yeah. So r squared minus 5r equals 0. So I want to solve for r. I could factor that, right? What is it? Take out r, right? So we have 0 is equal to r times what?
+1.
Negative what? 5, right? And that's it. And you set both of them equal to 0, right? We have r is equal to 0. And then we have r minus 5 is equal to 0. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. What you do to one side, you do to the other. So I have r is equal to 5. So I have two answers. R equals 0 and r equals 5. I don't know. Let's see. Let's check and see. So let's say square root of, I'm just going to plug in the 5, right? Plus 4 minus 5 plus 2, allegedly, that's 0. Let's see. 5 plus 4, I feel like that's 9. Minus 5 plus 2, allegedly, is 0. I'm not sure. This is like 3 minus 5 plus 2, allegedly is 0. 3 minus 5 is what? That's like what? -2 plus 2. Allegedly, that's 0. And 0 does, in fact, equal 0. So 5 is legit. We're good to go with 5. Oh, this is a check, by the way. So we good to go with 5. 5 is a good answer.
Do we have time for a question? Same topic? It's
Yeah.
confusing. This 3, there's only 3 numbers instead of 4.
It's only 3 numbers instead of 4.
So square root of x plus 2 equals 3. So I'm not sure how to go about it because some used to be 4 numbers.
The square root of x plus 2 equals 3. You square both sides and then solve for x. Yeah. So now let's see, right? Allegedly, 0 plus 4, the square root of 0 plus 4 minus 0 plus 2 is equal to 0. Let's see. Square root of 4, I think, is what? 2? So 2 plus 2, allegedly, that's equal to 0. But in fact, 4 does not equal 0, right? So we know that r equals 0 is not a solution. So the only answer to my question is r equals 5. All right? So check your answers. And if you're doing your homework on a web work and you get 2 answers and it's not taking it, one of them might be wrong.
So So it's just like one less.
You guys try, yeah. Yeah, that was the last one. Working. Y'all comfortable writing on the board, right? Last week, I'm gonna let y'all write on the board.
That's,
Yeah, prepare for the test. I'm not really a fan of writing on the board.
because what happened to me, I don't know, whenever I wrote on the board, I was like lost when I got to big.
That's all.
Where's your hammer?
With the five one. Yeah. Yeah. So it's-
Is your handwriting good? Why is it zero?
So in terms of boards, right? I really hate chalk.
Oh, I had a teacher who say, but he just hates chalk.
Yeah, I hate chalk. And then the markers, like they're good today, they're dead by tomorrow.
Yeah, they get dry.
Yeah. My computer always works.
Well, in Microsoft, it's,
Yeah.
that lady works for Microsoft, right? At the tutoring center?
Yeah.
Get to talk to her.
She had all the tricks.
That's fun.
Oh, that was zero. Oh, this one was zero. Right, like this.
I got one that's two squares.
When you square it, they will disappear. That's even,
I
that's
just gotta
even
solve
easier.
again.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look. So Remember, first thing I want to do, I want to isolate my radical, right? So to isolate my radical, I'm going to add m over here. What I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. Also going to subtract 3 from over here. What I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So now what do I have? Square root m plus 9 is equal to m minus 3. So what do I do after that? Square, right? Because I want to get rid of my radical. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation, right? So now I have m plus 9 is equal to, what's this? M squared minus 6m, right? How's it 7? And then plus 9. Because remember, 3m, 6. Yeah. After that, I want to solve for m, right? So I'm going to subtract m from over here. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Oh, I see the 7 now. You're right. And then I want to subtract 9 from over here. What I do to one side, I got to do to the other. So now what do I have? I have 0 is equal to m squared minus 7m, right? And then we can factor this. So let's factor this. This is going to be 0 is equal to m times m minus 7. And then real simple, all we're going to do is set them both equal to 0. So I have m is equal to 0. That's an answer. And then I have m minus 7 is equal to 0. I'm going to add 7 over here. What I do to one side, do to the other. So I have m is equal to 7. Right? But you know, I can't just do that, right? I got to check it. Because I don't know if it works or not. Right? So let's take a look. M equals 0, m equals 7. So I want to check this. So I'm going to plug in the 7, right? So I have square root 7 plus 9 minus 7 plus 3 allegedly is 0. Let's see. 7 plus 9, what's that? Square root 16 minus 7 plus 3 allegedly is 0. Square root of 16, I think, is 4. So 4 minus 7 plus 3. Allegedly, that's 0. Let's see. So that's like negative 3 plus 3. Might be 0. And in fact, the 0 does equal 0, so we're good to go. So that's a legitimate answer, 7. Let's try out 0. All right? So this is going to be square root 0 plus 9 minus 0 plus 3. Allegedly, that's 0. Let's see. Square root of 9 plus 3. Allegedly, that's 0. 3 plus 3 might be 0. But in fact, 6 does not equal 0. It's not an answer. Okay? And that's it. Go ahead. The radicals? Yeah. Correct. And then you could just like FOIL it out and then that's it. Yeah. Go ahead, Theo. Oh, square root of 16? Oh, up? Yeah. 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 Exactly. I want to isolate the square root. I want it by itself. Yeah. Right, move to the other side. Yeah. So that's the secret. Like once I isolate it, I can square it, get rid of the square root, and now I can solve the question no problem. Yeah. So look at this one now. I'm gonna do exactly what you think I'm gonna do, right? Want to isolate the radical, right? So I'm gonna add 8 over here. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. I'm gonna add 8 over here. So now what do I have? 3 square root 3x minus 5 is equal to, oh shoot, what's that? 12, right? And then what am I gonna do after that? Get rid of this 3 over here, divide by it. And what I do to one side, I gotta do to the other, right? So now what do I have? Square root 3x minus 5 is equal to, what's that, 4? And then you already know, right? I want to square this. Get rid of the radical, but what I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. So 3x minus 5 is equal to, what's this, 16? Add 5 to both sides. What's this? 3x is equal to 21. Divide by 3, divide by 3. So I have x equals 7. Now remember, I don't know if this is right or wrong. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I don't know if this is right or wrong, right? So what do I want to do? I want to check it. It's 16, right? Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. It happens. Right. So I want to check this, right? So I'm not sure if it's right. So I have 3 square root 3 times, what did I get? 7 as an answer? Minus 5 minus 8. Allegedly, that's equal to 4. I don't know if it is. We're going to see, right? This becomes 3 times the square root of 21 minus 5 minus 8. Allegedly, that's 4. Let's see. 21 minus 5, what's that? 16? I think, yeah. So this is going to be what? Square root 16 minus 8, allegedly. That's equal to 4. All right. Let's check it out. Square root of 16, I think, is like 4, right? So this is like 3 times 4 minus 8. That might be equal to 4. I'm not sure. 3 times 4, I think, is like 12, right? And 12 minus 8 could be equal to 4. And in fact, 4 is equal to 4. So we're good to go. All right? So x equals 7. That's a legit answer. Okay. So not bad, right? The same rules are apply here. So isolate the radical, right? And then once you isolate the radical, just square it to get rid of it, and then just solve for the variable. That's it. After you solve for the variable, check your answer, right? Verify that it works. Doesn't always work, but you never know. Sometimes. All right. You guys try. 8. Negative 5 squared. It's like 10 minus 15. Right, yeah, you got the 9. So 3 over 2 squared root of 5. So 3 over 2 squared root of 5. So you just multiply across the 3 is like 3 over 1. It's like 3 over 2. Next. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. So you can divide by the 2 to get rid of it. Oh, I'm sorry. So you want to check it? Just plug in for A. That's it. Yeah, and then okay. Yeah. So multiply it, and then whatever 2 times whatever that is minus 16. Does that equal 16? I mean, if it's 32, you good.
Oh, that's what I'm hoping it is. So what am I doing with it? Am I multiplying it or am I dividing it? Or did I do it?
You got 63 as an answer?
Yeah.
For real? Okay. Interesting. So 252 plus 4, 256, that's good. So square root of 256 is 16. Yeah, it is. Okay. So now 16 times 2 minus 16.
Yeah, that's one.
Oh, no, erase the square. There's a 2 out here.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
not squared.
Yeah.
So
Square
it's basically,
and it's a 2, right?
so is it 2 times? 16?
Exactly. 2 times 16
Oh,
minus
that's
16.
it.
Yeah. You're welcome. All right, let's take a look. Let's try it out. All right. So the first thing I want to do, I want to isolate my radical, right? So I'm going to add 16 over here. But what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other side of the equation. So I'm going to add 16 over here. So now I have 2 square root 4a plus 4 is equal to 32, right? Now I want to divide by 2 to get the radical by itself. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other, right? So now I have square root 4a plus 4 is equal to, what's this, 16, right? Now to get the radical, get rid of it, I'm going to square it. But what I do to one side of the equation, I do to the other side of the equation, right? So I'm going to square this. So now what do I have? 4a plus 4 is equal to, what's this? 256. Okay, I trust you. All right. So then now, what do we want to do? Solve for a. So I'm going to subtract 4 from over here. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So what do I have? 4a is equal to 252. And I want to divide by 4. What I do to one side, do to the other. So what do I have? A is equal to what? 63. Not bad, but let's verify it though. Let's see that this is actually the answer, right? So I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna do a little check, right? So now 2 square root 4 times 63 plus 4 minus 16 allegedly is 16. Let's see. 4 times 63, what's that? So 252 plus 4 minus 16 allegedly is 16. Let's see, so this is gonna be 2 square root 256 minus 16. That might be 16, let's see. Square root of 256 is what? 16, right? Minus 16. Allegedly, that might be 16. Let's see. 2 times 16 is what? 32. Minus 16, allegedly is 16. And in fact, 16, whoops, does equal 16. So this is a legitimate answer right here. 63. Sure.
Those are the problems that are coming up
Mm-hmm.
now. With number outside,
Got you. You just multiply by it, yeah.
multiply.
Or if you're trying to, yeah, if you're trying to solve for it, then divide, I'm sorry. But like when you're checking it, you know you're multiplying it. My fault, I'm just waiting for this thing to load. All right, go ahead. Part of it. Yeah, you might get like one question like this. Yeah. Oh, we have a whole lot. We gotta add, subtract, multiply, divide, plus this.
Just leave this one on there. Would be the only one.
You know, any question? We still got like complex numbers and trigonometry and all that. Yeah, yeah. Like little SOHCAHTOA. You better be a beast at it. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta know how to angle your patient when they hurt and all that. Exactly, right? Yeah.
I had to learn that.
But you have to like visually like know like what is 35 degrees or 45, you know? Yeah.
I had to learn to get that was a
Yeah.
straight rate. You gotta keep it on a 35-degree angle.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about something else. This is to answer your question from earlier.
That's a very good.
Mhm. So I want to solve radical equations with two radicals, all right? If the radical equation has two radicals, we start out by isolating one of them. It often works out easiest to isolate the more complicated radical first. So the next example, when one radical is isolated, the second radical is also isolated, all right? Let's take a look. Also, special note, right? So sometimes after raising both sides of an equation to a power, we still have a variable inside a radical. When that happens, we repeat step 1 and step 2 of our procedure. We isolate the radical and raise both sides of the equation to the power of the index again. All right? Just setting it up, just setting it up. So let's take a look, right? Like in this question, right? I got two radicals right here, right? Now, the more complicated radical, my opinion, is the m+9 one, right? So I want to isolate that one. In this case, it's isolated, right? So now I can square it, right? Real easy. Yeah, I'm just gonna square both sides. But notice notice the other one, right? I'm squaring the entire side, right? That's how we do it.
Wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, including that, the entire side, right? So I'm squaring the entire side. That being said, let's do square root m times square root m. What's that? M plus 2 square root m plus 1 is equal to m plus 9, right? Just FOIL it, and you'll see. After that, I want to just solve for m, all right? So I'm going to subtract m from over here. But what I do to one side, I got to do to the other. Really? We got more to do. Subtract m from over here. Subtract m from over here. We good to go, right? But now I notice my m's are gone. So let me focus on the other m, right? I'm gonna subtract 1 from over here. What I do to one side, do to the other. So now what do I have? I have 2 square root m is equal to 9 minus 1 is what again? I think it's 8, right? Then I want to divide by 2. What I do to one side, you know I gotta do to the other. So now I have square root of m is equal to 4. And I just want to solve for m. So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna square this, right? But what I do to one side, I do to the other, right? So final answer, m is equal to 16. That's it. And after you get that, you already know, check it out. Because it might not work. Right? Don't check that out because it might not work. So I want to check this. Right? So allegedly, if I do the square root of 16 and I add 1 to that, that's going to be equal to the square root of 16 plus 9. I don't know if it's true or not, but let's see. Square root of 16 is what? This is like 4 plus 1, allegedly, is equal to, what's 16 plus 9? 25? I'm not sure, but let's see. 5 does in fact equal 5, so we good. And that's it. That's a legitimate answer. Not so bad, right?
First part having a little bit lost. I'm not sure what you were foiling again.
What I was foiling square root of m plus 1.
So what? And why is it not m squared?
So the square root of m squared, that's what that would be. So remember, square root m times square root m is square root m squared. And then the square root of m squared is just plain m. So that's why. And then you just add the two together, and then, and of course, 1 times 1 is 1, all that good stuff. This is cool, right?
Better than the
Yeah. Real quick, I just noticed the time real quick. Just give me 1 second. I wanna give y'all some notes before y'all run out of here. All right. So we kind of revisiting these notes again. How to solve a radical equation, right? Step 1, isolate the radical terms on one side of the equation. Raise both sides of the equation to the power of the index. Step 3, are there any more radicals? If yes, repeat step 1 and step 2 again. If no, solve the new equation. And then step 4, check your answer in the original equation, right? So that's just the steps on how we do this. Let me do just one more for y'all, and then we could call it at that. All right. So real quick, last example, real quick. We're gonna have some Q's in this, right? So I want to solve the square root of Q minus 2 plus 3 is equal to the square root of 4Q plus 1, right? The more complicated radical is already isolated, right? So what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna square both sides of this, right? When I do that, what do I have? I have Q minus 2, right? Go ahead.
45 is 1.
Square that too.
Do that.
Yeah. That would be like 9 times whatever, yeah.
With, uh.
Without the square root. So like 9 open parentheses and whatever's inside the square root. Like that. Yeah. So Q minus 2, right? This is gonna be plus, let's see, 2 times 3 is 6, right? So 6 square root Q minus 2 plus 9 is equal to 4Q plus 1. Not too bad, right? Just So let's isolate the radical over here, right? Before I do that, let's combine like terms. -2 plus 9, I think is what, 7? So Q plus 6 square root Q minus 2 plus 7, yeah, is equal to 4Q plus 1, right? So I'm gonna subtract Q from over here. What I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. I'm gonna subtract 7 from over here. What I do to one side, I gotta do to the other. So now what do I have? I have 6 square root Q minus 2 is equal to, what's this, 3Q minus 6, right? Very good. And then what do I want to do after that? We could divide by the 6, or we could just square the whole thing. I think I would rather square the whole thing. Make it just a little bit easier, right? Squaring this is going to become what? 36, right? Because we know 6 squared is 36, times the Q minus 2. Just like that, right? Equals, and then you already know on the other side, right? This is going to be 9Q squared minus, what's this going to be? 6 times 3 is 18 times 2, 36Q plus 36, all right? And then after that, I'm just trying to solve for Q. So distribute 36Q minus, what's this, 72 is equal to 9Q squared minus 36Q plus 36, right? And what are we gonna do? I'm gonna add 72 over here, add 72 over here. I'm gonna subtract 36Q over here and subtract 36Q over here. So now what do I have? 0 is equal to 9Q squared minus 72Q plus, what's that? 108? Something like that, right? Y'all know I ain't going to answer that joint, right? Greatest common factor? What's that? Not Q. 9, right? I'm gonna factor out a 9. So this is Q squared minus, what's 72 divided by 9? Is 6? Or is it 8? Which one?
8.
It's 8. So 8Q plus what's 108 divided by 9? 12, right? And then that's it. 0 is equal to 9 times, what's this? This is going to be Q minus 6, Q minus 2, right? And then you already know, set them both equal to 0, right? Q minus 6 equals 0. Q minus 2 equals 0. I'm going to add 6 to both sides. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So Q is equal to 6. Add 2 to both sides. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So Q is equal to 2. Right after that, you already know, we got to check that out. We got to check out that 2, that 6 and that 2. So it's a little bit long, but it's nothing that we can't do. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a smidget, right? All right, man, I'll see you. All right, so we're just gonna check this real quick. Let's see. Let's verify that this works, right? So I got 6 and I got 2, right? So I'm gonna just try out the 2. It's gonna be square root 2 minus 2 plus 3, allegedly, is equal to the square root of 4 times 2 plus 1. Let's see, I'm not sure, right? This is gonna be what, 3, allegedly, is equal to, what's that, 8 plus 1? Square root of 8 plus 1. And in fact, 3 is equal to the square root of 9 because 3 is equal to 3, right? Bam. So 2 works. 2 is a legit answer, right? Let's try out that 6 though. I'm not sure if the 6 will work, but what we gonna see? So I'm gonna have the square root of 6 minus 2, right? plus 3 allegedly is equal to the square root of 4 times 6 plus 1. Let's do the math on that. 6 minus 2, this is square root of 4 plus 3. Allegedly will be, what's 6 times 4 again? 24, right? So 24 plus 1. Let's see, square root of 4 is 2. So 2 plus 3, I'm not sure. This might be square root of 25. And in fact, 5 does equal 5, so we good to go. So this is a legitimate answer too as well, 6. So that's it. Let me make that a little bit smaller. I know I went a little fast with that because of time. My fault. Time flies when you're having fun, you know? Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
Like,
It's like slow. That's why I'm waiting for it to like load up. Yeah.
like very stuck.
That one? All right, let me see. So now just square both sides, right? So when you square this side, this is 2x plus 1. When you square this, it's gonna be 9 in parentheses x minus 1. Just solve for x. So like differentiate, distribute is where I'm looking for, right? Distribute the 9. So you have 9x minus 9 is equal to 2x plus 1. Just solve for x. You're welcome. My fault. Computer a little slow with zooming out. That's what that is. Huh? Oh, no, I didn't get to do it yet.
She said the
Yeah.
multiply.
1 to 5? What do you
Yeah,
mean?
the multiply them.
Yeah, so multiply by the conjugate, right? So the conjugate is just the opposite of denominator. This is gonna be square root 13 minus 6. It's just gonna be square root 13 minus square root 6, top and bottom. And then you're just gonna FOIL it, right? See, man. All right, we'll take a look at that in 1 second. All right, this is everything. Math small. Instructions included. Yeah, I see, man. Got man. See you. Good night. See you. All right, so can I take this down? Thank you. That's everybody on the recording. Have a good night. All right, now, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.